VCT watch party कितना भाई
Yes,
टाइम
I
हुआ?
will go.
If we fight this,
एक और doing a watch party.
Oh. 1 minute remaining, guys. 1 minute 14 seconds.
Oh, Eco is also doing watch party. Doms.
Is Tariq doing watch party?
Today's the day, Sentinel.
Sentinel, come back.
Tinique, follow me. I'm increasing sound. Ah, this montage is so good.
I cannot believe it. And I like this who's watching it. Wallbang, and with that is going to win the round for EG. Zephyr uses it to his advantage, and he gets 4 kills.
One player remaining, and it's Bang coming in from mid.
No way! Makes it a 1v1!
Good, the tournament started. Nice.
E2, tense, reposition. Thing is, there's no easy way for him to get out.
I'm hyped, I'm hyped.
Snaps on the third!
Pokemon plays Valorant, right?
So what kind of this montage?
And they're running. What the fuck? They're dying. What the fuck was that? Oh, God.
They are running for ice cream.
They just, yeah.
Look, they're running for wine.
Yes, they're going to drink wine.
There's a lot of players. GG.
GG, 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 easy.
Break glass in if necessary.
Mom, love you.
What? Who has this idea? Create this type of animation.
Welcome back. It's time to jump into our first match for the NA LCQ. It's going to be Sentinels making their debut with the new roster and the
expecting and I'm hoping that we see big changes for them coming into this.
Yeah, and their drop-off was kind of combined with the rise of teams like EG, teams like Ghost Gaming that showed up and really understood the meta. They were playing from behind. They tried out the new stuff. It failed. They went back to their old stuff, and then were just like playing 2 weeks behind practically everyone else. It put them at such a big deficit. However, coming in towards this event, they've kept the same roster. They've stuck by their players. They have faith that while they had a problematic season in Stage 2, they can come back stronger in the LCQ.
But has things been going better for them? Because they've been playing in some of the Tier 2 events as well, and it hasn't looked like it's really drastically improved. It feels like it's still them stuck in this rut following that loss at Masters.
I mean, they played one event in a Nerd Street Open, and it didn't go very well for them. I think they lost out in 4th place in that one, losing to Dark Ratio, who's a good squad. But
I think they
you don't
have
expect
should
that from
to
someone
be
who's
right.
on the top of NA.
Yeah, you know, they have been
Start the
trying out
match.
new agents, right?
Yes.
Especially for Psych players.
It should be very easy win for Sentinels, guys. Guard really fell off, you know?
To play the chamber, it was like all about
They're
the
really
Jet
bad now.
in Stage 1, so he's been experimenting
They're
with
really
Neon. But
trash
it
now.
is no
Do what the Guard has to offer
Started.
in this series because
Yeah,
they
it started,
have,
it started.
Can Saya play
What?
something different? But
Shazam is using an Iron Gun, buddy?
Going for a double push
Wait,
with
what?
Jordan inside the 8 holes, but for Sentinels,
that a-
it's a different look. A triple initiator, starting with the Aljo, tagging net, potentially forcing a fallback. There you go, back at
Wait,
the
is
bridge,
that an Iron
opening up
Gun,
the A
buddy?
site.
Or...
And we wonder this map pool could actually allow
Oh, they are pushing from
just Jet, right?
back.
If
Yeah.
Sentinels
Oh,
want to play
Spike
Jet
has
through
been
this map
planted?
pool that we see here as they encroach onto A, slowly scaling in.
Who's
they
defending
could,
and who's
but still,
attacking?
The chamber's
What?
there. What will he be able to do?
Yeah, but it's on the flank here. They're already coming around the corner. There's the first contact, and there you go. Who better than Shroud for the first blood?
Oh.
Straight out though, and it's looking to be a
Sentinels
back-
are
back to
attacking.
in control. One
Wow,
more to
that
go to
was sick.
180 on the latest edition as well. Celsius giving the first round for Sentinels on the pistol.
Beautifully played. The triple initiator composition requires a lot of the members of Sentinels to be together, to work as a team. You don't have somebody that's dashing forward, that's gaining the space. When those flashes go out, there needs
I
to be
didn't
time.
understand what's
So
happening
all the
within a
Sentinels,
second.
Very nice scaling on that side
Yeah.
of Shroud's wall. He picks up the first key, move it in, the squad coming together, and they were able to take down just about everybody through the backside of the site when the focus was towards mid, was towards that B archway. So really nicely done there. Gaurd did suffer quite a bit there in economy, so it might be tough for them to get back into a buy. They're going to call a timeout even after the win to make sure they can keep this flow going, because it's tough.
Oh, timeout.
They're winning the rounds, like I said, but Econ's down. Reposition. Oh, he gets the frag! Oh my
2
gosh,
versus 2.
almost evens it up. It's the operator for tens. It feels like comfort. It feels like home. And there's one shot onto net. Van Silly. It looks so much better at a 2v1.
Well, now it's Tens, or Trent, should I say, on the clutch. 2 versus 1 does have the Aljona to work with. Who better than Trent to try to go for this clutch right here? But the re-lurk is coming back here from Tens on the mid.
Gosh.
Now we have to tap onto that spike, potentially have a double swing. The first peek out, the headshot to Shroud, but he's still looking back towards the doors. We still have an opportunity here for Tens to move back up. Comes in for the off kill from the
Mike
mid doors,
Tyson?
and
Oh
that
my
is a
God.
2-on-4
What a kill.
one by Mike Tyson.
The haymaker thrown by the Mike Tyson combo. Oh, that puts him down a round for sure. 5-2. What a reposition as well, because Shroud was in halls, so that's the first reposition. Tens was in cave, the cave, so that's the next reposition. You don't think they're going to go that far.
Tag onto a member of Sentinels, forcing him just to hold back towards Bricks. As Zelsis is watching back towards that right side pyramid. We still have great positioning to crossfire for Sentinels, and we're also flooding back. Nice flash from Jonah B, but it's still Shazam that gets these kills. And looking at it so far, with those 2 kills coming out from Shazam, you already see Saya player falling back to save that operator, so that is going to be a round coming in for the Sentinels. As you see the economy being solo for the Guard, they need these weapons moving into the next.
Controller down, Van Silly, right? And we saw Dapper kind of just run in there. And then we saw a few other flashes coming in as well. We did see Zelsis throw 0 point back towards the right side to make sure that they kind of deterred anybody on that for defense of the Guard. But great organization in the ultimates here. Sentinels knows they can't go for it, are forced to back off. So still, even after losing pivotal ultimates on the side of Guard, they're still finding ways here to make sure they can get themselves around. That was big to be able to knock down Sentinels on that round.
Yeah. The Guard have been looking pretty good here on the win that are taking up here towards the A site to play the pulse plant, because a lot of these times Valiant gets a plant and still stays alive too on the pulse plant. There's been some situations, of course, where losing his player is back on the pulse plant in front of the cave where he has to try to clutch it, but overall the initial strategy of the Guard trying to get into A for the plant seems to be seamless, because you still have like what, 3-4 players make it into sight on that plant.
Back towards A, possibly.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So they've set up this wall the majority of the time. You can see it being, the gas ore being popped back and forth as Null Command comes out. Quick site take here, and they feel like they just scale into sight. Like round 1 here, but with ultimates, makes it a little easier, unless Dapper does that.
We did have a tag coming out onto Shroud in the back of yellow. Aldrone coming out from Shazam. Shock darts trying to come through. And that's going to be a little bit of a combo. Oh, that could have killed Jonah P. He's down at 2 HP. And finally, kill confirmed by Shazam. But alert coming back towards mid from Trent. And he can come up huge right now. It's a 5 versus 2. We are watching that flank, but it's Net and Trent. The 2 youngsters right now in the roster making it work, at least for now. Trent on his lonesome. And it does not connect there, unfortunately, on that duel. But we actually did have a crossfire set up no matter what. He was fighting against Shazam. He had Zelsis on the other end and 1 going on a defuse. And that's Sentinels at 11.
Triple initiator retakes are gross. Like, they are going so quick. And I talked about it a bit before. We saw that it was Zelsis and Dapper playing.
This really stole the show in this one, which you wouldn't really expect when you're looking at a team with Shroud, with Tens, with all these other amazing individuals.
And we speak of Shroud as well. One of the things we really liked from this first map was the Viper utility from both sides. Shroud rocking it on one side, Valen on the other. We saw some interesting walls. I think early on it was a little clunky, but as the game progressed, it got better and better, and you had a few rounds you wanted to look at specifically.
Yeah, honestly, it shows both styles of teams on their defensive halves in particular here. And I'm going to start out actually looking at how the Gaurd played, as I lose myself for just a second. So primarily how the Gaurd like to play compared to Sentinels is to play contact on site and then fall off. And you can see this exactly in how they play the B site with their Viper. Notice, interesting enough, there's no Viper wall at start of round. There's really nothing of note here on the site. You just have Net playing with the chamber for that first contact into main. And as the round plays out, as all these full buy rounds play out for the Gaurd, they use that Viper wall as retakes. So they don't play these fully committal positions on site. You just have a chamber who can TP and play backside. That'll enable them to have two players in the backside for the retake, which is really solid with how they want to play. They can combine utility to try and punish out the team. And then that's where things get really interesting for them, because how do you retake control of the B site? Well, it is this crazy Viper wall going into the back site here. And as you can sort of see it, what it does is it disables anyone from playing backside really at all, because if they're going to swing into you, they have to cross through that right there. They're going to take the decay damage, and you're going to have a great line of sight to actually try and hit them as they get back onto the site. So it enables you
in the past, but I'm liking so far that we're fighting back and getting these numbers on a fade. Nightfall ready into this round, and also one round away of tying things up when they have the harder side of Ascent here, Riv.
Right, it's not just the agent. I mean, you get the same stuff out of Fade that you kind of do out of Sova, but still seems comfortable just railing heads and taking rounds for the team. 4-3 here, a little closer to start off than we had on Breeze. Gaurd seem to be online right now. We'll see what they can produce for round 8. Sentinels getting a bit of a push into B main for the first time here, a little bit deeper rather. They have had peeks and checks.
Bring them down.
But this will be the extremity check that they usually aren't doing. Mid's been left open a lot of the time. One round, Gaurd was able to test out. They haven't decided it's going to be another cat.
Tree control, Nightfall right away, and a nice little smoke too, just to try to take control of Tree for the Gaurd. But that is going to slow things down at the same time, because that was also a detriment to not allow the Gaurd to get through. Potentially maybe go for an underhand throw through that smoke, but there was a lot of utility that was thrown back from Sentinels.
It's wild. Look at what Sentinels feel comfortable playing. Shroud is not moving. He is ready to play a double spot there, crossfire into sight, but he goes down on a trade. Now they have to consider what they can do. No controller on that side.
That was a nice little double swing out.
Spawn.
Outside of the Cloudburst 2. Zelton down. Shazam off the rotation. And this continues to be just nice from both of these teams. The pushing coming through, it's well read by Sentinels,
Exactly.
but the crate comes out immediately. I just love this until this happens. Ten's pushing towards the B main, looking for the third kill, and he's going to get the headshot there on the Valen. Lock it down here for the Sentinels.
Oh, a little bit of a fumble there. Tens
That's a cast of curse.
absolutely cleaning up and realizing the situation. I mean, there's an arming time for the bot as well. Tens knowing well. I mean, Tens would fire through a flash there if it was on the screen before he would try to rendezvous away. So the alarm bot's not going to scare him. Yeah, really well played there. Just simple, kind of knew he could shoot. And a bit of a misplay by Gaurd. That will haunt them coming into that round because they had positioning and they had numbers. A quick 3K by Tens turns the game into Sen's favor here. Still a bit of a buy for Gaurd. And they have some money in their pocket, so not too bad.
Blade Storm 2 available for Saya player and trying to initiate for him for mid control. As after the timing of the haunt from Dapper, we've already immediately pushed out and looking for this mid to be split. But once again, it's still Tens holding the other end with a Vandal in front of B main.
Enemy tagged.
Drone out. The B main control has been a little bit more apparent here from Sentinels in the last few rounds, but in goes Saya player. Great chaos created by the Gaurd.
Yeah, a little bit of a bad placement off the rendezvous points, allowing Trent to get a second kill there onto Shazam. And there's the first, I mean, this is the first lockdown I think that I've seen this have. Coming out here from Trent, and that allows here Elise for the Gaurd to play the pulse plan, and already Sentinel's going to fall back into the A site to save.
Nicely done. And
Over 500,000 viewers are currently watching this game. Hello, Valorant fans, and hopefully you're enjoying this matchup between Sentinels and the Gaurd, because I, of course, am. We thought, at least at the beginning of both of these maps, that it was just going to be Sentinels running away with their triple initiator comps, but the Gaurd continue to find a way to fight back after timeouts and great reads coming out from MCE, allowing now the second half just to start on a fresh slate. But it starts aggressive. We have Celsius getting the first blood on the Saya players. They're trying to go for the shark attack into the B-Link.
Super quick start. Holy moly. Quick backup by the Gaurd. Say, okay, we need to regroup. Sentinels enjoying what they got right there. No need to push. And this is what they do all the time. We saw this on Breeze. They keep back. They're slow. And Saya player to have as your first one is so big. Set up a 2. He's got a 3-1 right now. And it looks like they're actually going to choose right. Sentinels are going to wait this out a little bit more. Expect a lot of this round to go away and be this little excursion to try and pull out a little bit more util. They want to see at least 1 or 2 members of what agents they'll be facing at these sites right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a
0
fake
point
so far.
towards
Zeus is almost in the B.
Exactly. 0-point recon dart, but there's still going to be that killjoy utility towards A main. So that's good delay being set up by Net and allowing this rotation to come back. And Sentinel seems like they just want to focus on taking this A site. But it's a double push up on Catwalk, so Net has a lot into his hands right now, hiding inside that Nebula. And as it dissipates, Elise gets the first kill until he's traded off by Zelsis for another kill coming in for Sentinels. In the back of Jenny, Trent fights back with that frenzy. Long range somehow onto Tens, and this is looking, again, one of those clean retakes on Pistol.
Hard to be able to get past that defense. Tour de force now peeking Cat, looking for a shin, looking for anything. And not going to get it. Maybe some toes. These one-ways are a great job of slowing down Sentinels, but I'm not sure that's what stops them. Being slow on Breeze was how Sentinels gained a lot of their rounds. Yeah. Gaurd doing what they can to create the one-ways, but it seems like Sentinels will wait it out and still get the push through. Shroudy first again.
Underhand throw being thrown out here, but that blinds out both players onto the card. And we made it through, but there's only 6 seconds. Spike is out down. And that's not going to help too much. Once again, another one of those situations where Tans is going to be by himself with no time left on the clock. And despite Net not being able to get any of these nanoswarms popped off on Tree, it's still good enough here for the Gaurd to get ready for the push from Sentinels.
Oh yeah, being able to basically have things in order, fail safes. The Gaurd seems to have been setting up where Net is really, really well with that. And while it was a question, right? How much does KJ shut down, or sorry, KO shut down Killjoy now? It's like, how much does Killjoy really alter the map unless they're popping off? So I don't think we've seen much between that battle, if there was any to be had. Gaurd happy, pumped, fist bumps around, 10-7 here as they look to bring us to Icebox, our final map on this best of 3 series to start off the NA LCQ. And we'll see how this one goes. Sentinels called a timeout. They've been able to break kind of the surface defense of what Gaurd is setting up. They, again, haven't been working too much mid. Just like Breeze, they're working left, they're working right on the extremities. But, again, this time they have a bit of a flank. They're usually working 2 players off, whether it be Dapper and Zelsis or Dapper 10, something like that. And it seems like they're trying to get more and more info out of Gaurd, but they're not allowing that game to happen anymore. They were read so quickly, and it seemed like downloaded early on Breeze before they adapted to that Sentinel strategy. Here, they're being very close to the chest with how they're defending, where they're defending, and Sentinels aren't having as easy as a time getting into sites.
Now the storyline, at least now for the Gaurd, is that they're actually able to get a lot of value out of these 5 versus 4s, getting the first blood and converting them into wins. It was quite low going into stage 2, and now currently looking to be at top of like the 70s, 80%. And it's all off just, again, the utility that they have on the defense for the Gaurd. If it's not going to be on the Killjoy utility, it's still that KO smoke combo that works out quite well. And finally, as we get a first blood now in favor of Sentinels, that's a player falling on mid for the Gaurd, and that opens up a lot of that map opportunity to control for Sentinels as they're leaning towards this.
Great little adaptation there by Sentinels. They were able to identify that it was Saya player that was out and in the open alone, but now this B is coming in, so forget about that.
And probably flashbacks from Hiko when you had Tens get that 3K onto Haven. I know you're watching here, Hiko, and sorry to bring that back to you. But now Sentinels are 2 rounds away to force another overtime into this game. Economy's still good for the Guard, but it's quick for Sentinels inside the B site. Dapper somehow flicks into the kill onto Trent. Back of the site now is going to be Net. Being hit by Concuss from that Nova Pulse. Net is trying to stay alive in the back. Nice flash coming out because Zelsis was full blinded from that. The swing out from Tens, and Net was still ready off that kill. And that's off that Guard cover coming out, and Net is just holding down towards the back of the site. I can't believe this is happening. What a hole right now from Net and the rest of the Guard in the back of the B site. And we are going to a third map.
I'm so ready for this third map. I feel like Icebox is the one that kind of could really sort out how these teams have played, what they've been working on. I feel like the last 2 maps of Breeze is straightforward, a little bit more of a shooting range. Ascent will put you close and figure out how well you can work in anchoring each other. But Icebox, about those rotations, really about the site takes and retakes. I cannot wait to see what these 2 teams have for each other as we're going to a third map.
Same thing for Sentinels. I mean, when Ender was talking about it on the analyst desk where there was some struggles, hit or miss for Ascent for that very team, I felt that we had some similar storylines for Sentinels on this map as well. But now this is a brand new page. We want to know what they're going to pull out here on Icebox, and what does the Guard have ready for us for Icebox as well, and we'll find that out after the break.